Welcome to the show Showdown. Today we will witness an epic beef between two of America's biggest news broadcasters. On one side, we have the low-key liberal CNN. Today, Sydney Bean and Cassie Rowe will be representing the channel on our show. On the other side, we have Brooklyn Granger and Martha Stewart. Bertha Jorkins, who represent the clearly conservative Fox News.
Is this supposed to be? Okay.
We're on air.
Haha, that was sound crew accident. Okay, moving on.
Now the topic of tonight's show Showdown is the refugee crisis. We now go over to Bertha Jorkins, who believe that allowing all of these refugees into Canada will cost a lot of money and put a strain on the budget.
Absolutely. Now this is a bigger problem than most people realize. Let's take a look at the Canadian government, for example. Since the Liberals took over, 40,000 refugees have already been let into the country, and it has cost them millions. Initially, the program budget was just over $50 million, but the Liberals are adding a further $25 million to this year, increasing the budget by 50%. The more they add, the bigger the deficit is. Do you see the problem? Let's look at this video about the Liberals' plan of overcoming this deficit.
And the promise in the campaign, of course, was a $10 million deficit a year. This is about triple that. How do you square that circle?
Well, I come back to what Canadians asked us to do. So they asked us to help them.
But you're going into deeper debt than Canadians were expecting.
We're making investments that we know are going to help us to grow the economy.
Did you see that? He just completely avoided the question. Is this how you want our news channels and politicians to be like? Is this what you want, America? Initially, the Liberals had set aside a budget of $56 million for 3 years to process new permanent residents, but today's federal budget includes an additional $245 million over 5 years to bring in the remaining people needed to meet the Liberal promise to resettle 300,000 Syrian refugees. Refugees receive a minimum of $610 per person per month, as well as income support to help them get through their first year in the country. Things have gotten so out of hand, in fact, that the official opposition leader, Roma Ambrose, slammed the Liberals' projected $29 billion deficit for 2016 as a nightmare scenario from a taxpayer's point of view. If this isn't putting a strain on the Canadian economy, I don't know what is. Imagine us having to deal with that. That'd be like so much work.
Actually, Bertha Jorkins, your facts are completely wrong. If you didn't know, out of 40,000 refugees in Canada, 14,274 refugees are privately sponsored, and that rounds up to about 36%. Do you even know what that means?
Yeah, obviously I know what private sponsorship. Yeah, I know what that is. It's when the sponsorship person is a private person. That's right.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
Okay, that's totally it. Actually, private sponsorship is a resettlement of refugees in Canada in which the financial cost of sponsorship and resettlement is provided by private groups or organizations. In other words, responsible Canadian citizens. Most people hate the Liberals in Canada because they think that the government is funding all 40,000 refugees. However, 2/3 of the refugees have entered and received social assistance. Many Canadian citizens have taken the initiative to settle refugees, which is something that America should learn from. According to CBC News, the cost of supporting different sized families are displayed here. Even if all the refugee families consisted of 4 people, meaning 2 kids and 2 parents, the total amount that a private sponsor would have to pay would total up to around $27,000. Now, if we were to calculate, that's around $96,349,500 that responsible Canadians are spending or putting towards this noble cause. And then we have Trump, who probably spends more money on spray tans each week. But no, he can't spend this much money on poor refugees. Refugee receives around $800 as their setup allowance, and $900 after that each month. That totals to about $1,700 for the first month. However, they only get $900 for the months after that. Many choose to believe that the government will be aiding these refugees for many, many years. However, that's completely false. On the Canadian website, the government has specified that they will be only deciding to help this batch of refugees for 1 year. And after that, if the refugees are able to obtain a job, they will not be giving them any money in the form of aid. In addition, the government has set aside a budget for the next 6 years only, and this budget is only there for contingency plans. Those are what-if plans. Just because there's a higher budget set aside, it does not mean that they will be using this entire budget. It is just there for emergency causes.
To shed light to another refugee-related concern, let's talk about the issue that many have regarding refugees taking the jobs of citizens.
It's been 2 years since Justin Trudeau and his Liberal government has allowed 40,000 Syrian refugees into Canada. Ever since then, all these refugees are stealing jobs which rightfully belong to Canadian citizens. These refugees who are unemployed receive unemployment benefits from the government. There are 9,000 Syrian refugees that are employed right now. Those are 9,000 Canadians out of work. The Liberal government provides funds to those unemployed right now and is extremely generous when it comes to their loans. Between November 2015 and March 2016, the Liberal government waived all loans for 25,000 Syrian refugees. Talk about generous, right? Hey, Trudeau government, mind waiving my student loans? The Syrian refugees arriving in Toronto are skilled newcomers and some have strong English skills. Although some Syrian refugees are unable to talk in English fluently, the Liberal government are spending a lot of money, $900 million to be exact, for language training. And once they graduate from these language training institutes, the institute places the Syrian refugees in workplaces that suit their skills and for higher employment positions. A Syrian refugee at Winnicota is taking advantage of these English classes and will try to strengthen his job opportunities. Newcomers who have an immediate grasp on English, they take upon low-skill survival jobs. These jobs are in retail, services, and not in big businesses. But hey, that's another job gone for a Canadian. Executive Director at Toronto Region Immigrant Employment Council states that it's better for newcomers and for Canada if people can do the work they are trained to do. Talk about betraying her own country. She should be looking out for Canadians and not for the Syrian refugees. They take our jobs. The Syrian refugees are in more demand according to the President of Diversity ERRA, Barbara Dixon. She believes Syrian refugees offer a huge opportunity to utilize and benefit from the skills they bring to the Canadian workforce. We just have to start being a little less arrogant about our skills being the best and look for creative ways to recognize the professional skills and abilities of those coming with professional qualifications obtained outside of Canada. This woman obviously doesn't realize that we have even more qualified candidates in Canada. Is she even Canadian?
The matter of refugees taking away the jobs of citizens is one that frequently arises during any discussion about refugees. It is treated like it is a proven fact, yet no evidence exists supporting that. The same can be said for 100% of Trump's statements. Anyway, this is simply just not the case. According to a sampling taken of Canadian citizens, it was found that 40% of Canadians worry that refugees will negatively impact their jobs, a country which has taken in 40,000 Syrian refugees since 2015. But this is simply a myth. Before dissecting the myth, I would like to show the views presented against refugees. Here is the Australian Immigration Minister regarding refugees in Australia.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
For many people, they won't be numerate or literate in their own language, let alone English, and people would be taking Australian jobs, there's no question about that.
Alright, so while locals and immigration ministers worry that refugees will cause wages to drop in lower end of the job market spectrum, typically refugees lack the language skills needed in high-level positions. So the lower end is where the refugees end up working. Research done by the University of California and the University of Copenhagen show that a large amount of lower wage workers in a community actually tend to help raise wages for everyone. Low-skilled foreign workers and low-skilled domestic workers often complement each other instead of displacing each other. A 12-year study researched the Danish people within a community where refugees had arrived. The data they found supported trends previously observed in communities in the US and Germany, where the arrival of refugees resulted in people on average having their jobs upgraded and receiving high wages, as opposed to communities that did not receive refugees. That is significantly more than what can be said for Trump, as the only thing he's helped raise is the amount of protests and the travel expense bills that come out of taxpayer pockets. Going back to refugees, I think Mr. Dutton from Australia would like to take these people would be taking Australian jobs, and there's no question about that comment back, because it was false.
This has been an episode of the show Showdown. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.